Can't tell if I'm alive yet. Oh, yes, I am. Okay. Let's talk about playing fast and loose with the truth, or telling only the truth that suits you. Am I talking about Sarah Boone's lawyer? No, actually. We're going to look at some body cam and previous incidents, and we're going to talk about that. To find all my stuff, I'm doing this a little bit differently, so I hope you bear with me. Here we go. Okay, we're gonna play this body cam. I am going to interrupt a lot. I want to note too that in every incident, I did some background looking into things. Every incident between Sarah and Mr. Torres, where the police were called, it was Sarah who called, including the time that she got arrested. And I don't know if I can, there's certain words I can't say in live stream, so I'm just going to leave it at that. Let's listen to this. And let me know if, hang on a second, I want to make sure that my volume is good. So you guys can let me know if it's too loud or not. Let's try this again. Here we go.
He's going to a whole bunch of pardon me for saying that.
No. Go ahead.
Pardon me for saying that, but like, oh man, he let loose on my tonight, and I'm not having it.
Okay. All right.
I got kicked in the face.
Okay.
Kicked in the face.
I got kicked in the face. How she phrases things is important. There's deception here. It's not, he kicked me in the face. It's, I got kicked in the face. So what's missing here is what else happened? Because if you got kicked in the face at all, well, there's something more to it. And I say that because of the language she uses. Let's keep going.
You know if there's no guns, anything in there?
No.
We just have to double check. Yeah. None of us
I know, baby. You guys are doing your job.
All right, Sarah here?
Yes.
Sarah here?
Did she just call him baby? Did I hear that?
Go get him. I swear to God, there's nothing for you guys to be afraid of.
Okay.
What's his name?
George.
George? All right.
There's nothing for you guys to be afraid of. I swear to God, I'm done with this attitude. He beat the out of me tonight. And I'm done with it. I have to go to work tomorrow.
What's up, George?
Hey, what's up?
You want to talk to us? Go inside. Talk to you inside.
Come on, man.
You see my eye?
I do see your eye. Okay, tell me how it all went down from beginning to...
Yes, my love.
Okay.
Okay, so we were having a really good day, and we went across the street to
We were having a really good day. Oh boy.
Muldoon's, and everything was good and fine and dandy, and because I talked to another guy because he left, came in there, and I got so mad, because I asked for a cigarette from another guy because he took my license, my debit card, and everything, cigarettes, everything, took everything.
Okay.
So I asked someone for a cigarette, and it happened to be a guy. So he walked in and got super pissed because I asked for a cigarette from another guy. I came home. Mind you, my car is across the street still.
Okay.
Her worry is her car. Her car is across the street. She's obviously drunk here. She wants to go get her car. Come on. That's her concern. So far, she's describing jealousy. Now, jealousy is a trigger, and irrational jealousy is a hallmark of DV situations. There's not enough here to say that that's what this is. We also know how flirty she is when she's drunk. So, and we know she tells half truths. So we don't know. In any case, that's not justification to put one's hands on somebody if that's what happened. So far, she has not described a crime.
So you get home, you go inside.
Oh man, let loose.
Okay, elaborate. So you open the door. What happens from there?
I'm a whore.
He starts calling you names? Okay.
My concern here, and you can tell the officer has got a concern or a question too, is that we come home and let loose. So there's a pronoun missing here. It's not we let loose, he let loose, I let loose. It's just let loose. So there's something wrong here. Also, it's vague. She doesn't describe what leads up to it or anything like that. She is, as usual, telling just the parts of the truth that she wants to tell. And so the officer is asking for a little more clarification here.
When I say ragdoll, do you know what that is?
I know what a ragdoll is.
Oh man, I was ragdolled.
Okay.
Okay, again, the officer said, elaborate, tell me what happened. You opened the door when you came home, and then what? And Sarah doesn't actually answer this. And this is a red flag when you're taking a statement. Why are you redirecting? Why are you skipping over things? Why are you ignoring when I ask you a specific question? Why are you not telling me that? Some officers will say, okay, pretend like your eyes, you're a movie camera, and just describe to me everything you see so you can get that story in order. Well, she's not doing that. And it's almost like she's insistent on not doing that. And so and again, the way she phrases it is, I was ragdolled. Oh yeah? By who, when, under what circumstances? Come on, be specific, be detailed. But she can't. And her pattern is, we know this in hindsight, of course the officer talking to her doesn't know then what we all know now about her behavior and her patterns, but we all know she likes to make allegations without the receipts, just enough to make everybody think that somebody else is the bad guy. And here it is again. I mean, we're not even, I don't know how long we are into this. We are 2 minutes into this, and already she can't give a straight answer or a straight story. Come on.
Okay, but I need you.
In the face.
Okay, I need you to elaborate. Like, you walk into the house. Did you start arguing? He started calling you names. You said he was.
No, I walked out. I walked in and I walked to the back. I just wanted to smoke a cigarette and just go to sleep. I just literally wanted to I'm gonna smoke a cigarette. I'm gonna go to sleep.
And then as you're making your way to the back, what happened?
I got caught on the stairwell.
Earlier, she said they came home and let loose, whoever let loose. Now, that's not what she's describing. Now, she's saying, well, she wanted to go to the back porch, have a cigarette, and go to sleep. And I was caught on the stairwell. What? You went to the back porch. How'd you get to the stairwell? What the heck, Sarah? You're leaving out a ton of stuff. She wants this officer to believe something. Sarah wants some sort of an end result here. And so she's manipulating to get the officer to believe something. And she can't tell the whole truth.
You got caught on the stairwell, so he caught you on the stairwell. And what, did he get in front of you? Started confronting you, telling you anything? What happened?
You hear the long pause? How did she get on the stairwell? How did he get on the stairwell? Did he chase her? Was he waiting for her? Was he already upstairs? What was going on? I thought she wanted to go have a smoke and then go to bed, and he's not going to let her. So isn't he out back with her? Like, what is going on? But no. And now she can't figure out what the answer should be, partly because her brain is pickled at the moment, but partly because she's telling a story and she's trying to figure out how to make it hang together. When you go to a call and something awful has happened to somebody, if they want to tell you what happened, they are tripping over themselves. It's hard for them to get everything. They just blurt out all kinds of things and you have to slow them down. No, she's needing to sit back and figure out how this is going to work for her.
It was bad.
Okay. Elaborate, Miss Sarah. I need you to tell me exactly what happened so I can help you.
My heart is like, I don't want him to get in trouble, but fuck, I'm tired of being beaten up.
Okay. I understand I'm trying to help you out, but
I know you are.
I need you to elaborate a little bit. So
I swear to God.
I don't want to get him in trouble, but I'm tired of being beaten up is something that victims say all the time. A lot of times what you hear, what you learn is they don't necessarily want to leave. They don't hate the person. They just want the violence to stop. Now, having said that, we actually know what happened in this incident. And so we get the benefit of hindsight, which was she came at him on the stairs and she was strangling him and he kicked her off of him. That's what we know happened. But at the time, this officer doesn't know. And Sarah has just made a statement that sounds like so many victims.
Stairwell?
Sorry. And I think she was ticked because he fought back. And so she was going to get a little revenge by calling the police. That is my personal opinion.
Dragging me down the stairs. I went upstairs, tried to get in the bed. I just wanted to go to sleep. I didn't make it to the bed. He caught me in the upstairs.
Like in the hallway?
He caught me in the upstairs. She just finished saying he caught me on the stairs, or I was caught on the stairs. That's what she said. And now the officer's saying he caught you upstairs in the hallway. Oh, and now there's this long silence again because she's trying to figure out if that is the right story.
Beaten the fuck up. That's all I can say.
Okay, what do you mean? Like, I see your eye. What you said he kicked you in the eye.
That's what this is. That's what this foot.
Were you on the floor when he kicked you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, how did you get to the floor? Did he push you? Did he pull you? How?
You notice when she's having to actually answer the question here, now she's crying? Because it's not because she's so upset. She's buying herself time to figure out what the story should be.
Normally what I do is, because he does it so often, I just go to the floor.
Sorry, I'm interrupting every flippin' sentence because there's so much wrong with it. The officer asked a leading question, which was, were you on the floor? So Sarah jumps at that and says yes, right? Then the officer wants to know how she got on the floor. And Sarah cries to buy herself time, but doesn't actually answer the question of how she got on the floor. What she's saying is, normally this is what happens. Normally this is what I do. That's not the same as this is what happened this time. So she's creating just more narrative.
Let's go to the floor. So I'm pretty sure, I don't really recollect. I went to the ground.
Okay. And then that's when he
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, that's fine. I don't mind. So you went down to the ground.
Yes, that's what I do.
Did he kicked you with which, do you recall which foot? Right foot, okay.
Heel.
Seriously, the police ask that all the time, and there are reasons why, but most of the time victims don't actually remember.
His heel. Okay. And you say you've been together
I'm a whore. Because I asked for a cigarette. Because he left my ass and my car's across the street.
Okay.
He left my she said. And she's saying she got kicked on the stairs because she asked for a cigarette. So she's taken something that happened earlier and putting it together with what's happening on the stairs now, where she got caught in the hallway and no one knows how they actually got on the stairs and all that. But hey, let's put that aside. So she is taking something from earlier and putting it together with now, based on what? Did they have an argument? Were they arguing on the stairs or in the hall or on the back porch about this guy? What? Oftentimes you'll see in reports direct quotes. And the reason officers try and do that is it's important because you need to know what was said. We've got none of that.
You said you've been together for about a year?
And a half.
A year and a half?
Yes.
Okay. Live together, obviously.
Yes.
Okay.
I just recently went through a divorce. He's been there with me. He knows all the story, blah, blah, blah. But
I know. I'm just trying to...
This sucks. And I have to go to work tomorrow.
Do you want the fire department...
She said, I have to go to work tomorrow. I thought Brian said that she had been unemployed for over 2 years. Not sure if she was really working then or not.
Come out, check
No,
your eye.
baby.
No? Okay. Okay. Do you want to press charges? You can smoke your cigarette if you want.
Can I talk to you, though?
You're talking to me by myself.
I don't want him to be taken. Please put the fear of the police.
So you don't want to press charges? Okay. Do you want to fill out any paperwork? Do a statement? No? Okay. Smoke your cigarette, sit down, smoke your cigarette.
I don't want him to get in trouble.
Okay.
But God, he's fucked up.
I know.
You guys have actually been out here twice now. Look at this shit. He fucking rips my shit all the time.
Did this happen today?
Yes.
Okay. Alright. Yeah, I see it. It's ripped and I'm down there a little bit.
I just bought this yesterday.
I get it. Sit down, smoke your cigarette,
Pardon?
do your thing. No, it's fine. Do you have an ID with you? Is it in the house?
Yes.
Okay, we'll go find it
I
later.
know my number if you want it.
Oh, that's perfect. Go for it. First name is spelled S-A-R-A-H. Do you have a middle name?
Catherine. K-A-T-H-R-Y-N.
K-A-T-H-R-Y-N. R-Y-N. Okay. What's your last name?
Boone. B-O-O-N-E.
Date of birth?
10-10-7-7.
I get it. Make sure not to squeeze my arm anymore. Do you have a telephone number?
407.
407?
716.
716?
8684.
8684?
Yes.
Email address?
SKP.
SKP underscore
1-800.
1-800
at yahoo.com.
at yahoo.com.
Sorry.
No, it's cool. Okay. I get it. I get it. Sit down, smoke your cigarette, try to relax a little bit. I'm going to take pictures of you in a little bit. All right?
Thank you.
No problem.
The other side. Am I gonna spend the whole night over there?
When it comes to, have a seat. We'll talk. When it comes to domestic related stuff, man.
Yeah.
You'll probably sit in there for a day. Okay. Yeah. I'm not gonna sit here and I'm not gonna lie to you. All right. You're gonna probably sit in there for a day, maybe 2. All right. Well,
2 days?
possibly. It's all up to the judge. All right. This is the thing is that the reason why they do that, man, is because when it's domestic related, y'all are dating. This is still dating violence, still domestic violence.
Yeah.
Okay. They got to make sure they keep y'all separated long enough to where nobody's gonna come home and kill each other. You know, I know that might not be your intention. That's the majority of the domestic violence and dating violence, battery calls that we deal with. That never happens. But there's always that one out of many that will do it. So that's why you'll probably sit in jail for maybe a day or 2. Okay. All right. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Just keep being cooperative. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. So you want your phone?
Yes. Make sure you guys lock the back door, man.
We got you. Don't worry. We'll take care of that. You go by Junior, you go by George.
George.
Is it George or is it Jorge? Jorge. All right.
George.
Hey, man, I'll call you by your name. Well, you want George? Okay, I'll call you George.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Notice how reasonable and cooperative he was. Now, if he was the only aggressor, he might be that way. But there's such a contrast in personalities here. And we know, again, in hindsight, that he was attacked.
Hey, Miss Sarah, you mind putting down the cigarette so I can take a few other pictures?
You need me?
Yeah, just stand up for me. Face my car that way. The car is that way. Hands behind your back.
For what?
For battery domestic.
Me?
Both of you.
What does that mean?
Battery domestic violence. You two hitting each other. Doesn't go down like that. All right. Walk towards that car. County 125. I have a white female secured. You don't have anything that's gonna poke me, stick me, cut me. Okay. Put your chest on that flag and stay there for me.
Just so you know, according to the police reports, the other officer spoke with Mr. Torres inside the house, and he eventually had explained what happened and why he kicked Sarah, which was she was strangling him on the stairs and he needed to kick her to get her off of him.
This is for real? This is for real.
Why?
I already explained to you. Chest on flag.
Oh my God.
That should probably not be together, but that's not my business.
Yes, ma'am.
So stuff like this happens, and I have to step in.
Why am I in trouble?
Spread
though?
your feet. Spread your feet apart.
Why am I in trouble though?
Because of.
Do you believe it? Why am I in trouble? So what she does to everybody else, I guess, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what she did to him. It only matters what he did to her. And it doesn't matter that it was self-defense. Right? And, you know, her lawyer is claiming battered spouse. So all of these previous incidents are going to come in. And in connection with that issue, I want to note that it is her who has called the police every time, not him. It's her calling, and I hope that if the defense wants to bring these things in, that the prosecution really go after the fact that, wait a minute, there are half-truths here. And remind me too, because we're going to get to another one where there was a police report, and what was described, how you could see the police report is very different from what actually happened. And I have the audio of that call, that interaction between police and Sarah, and it's very different from how the police report sounds. So remind me if I forget to talk about that.
Marcy has all on his neck and the inconsistencies of the story.
Back.
Okay.
I can't.
Okay, step back a little bit.
I'm good.
I don't know. I still gotta check you though.
Why? Because I fucking fought back?
No, because everybody that goes in my car gets checked. No matter who you are.
No. I mean, like, seriously, like, I literally just started my job a week ago.
Go ahead, sit down for me. Sarah.
I literally just started my job a week ago.
Phone. The phone's over there?
It's in your front seat.
Okay. Thank you.
She's so mad. And she says, oh, because I fought back. But we know that's not actually what happened. But she has to make herself the victim. So, I mean, if I do something to you and you push back on me, then I'm going to consider that as an affront and justification for me to lash back or to claim that I'm defending myself. And the issue of justification is really important. We use it in threat assessment all the time. It's how she decides in her own mind that a thing is okay. So I think, okay. So this, I'm going to go back here. Oops. I'm going to address the chat for a second. Yeah, Sarah was charged with a felony and George with a misdemeanor here. Yes, because of the choking. And the charges were dropped against both of them. Okay, Graciela is talking about a video where Sarah was on Nickelodeon. You know, in that video on Nickelodeon, the child's name was Sarah Boone. But remember, Sarah Boone wasn't Sarah Boone until she was married to Brian. So I don't think that kid is the same Sarah. LW says she calls cops if he calls her names. Yeah. Detective, yes, we'll see if she's found guilty. I think they're really going to fight. And I think that they don't care about what the whole truth is. Okay. This next body cam video is actually about credit card fraud. So, according to the reports, Sarah called police on Mr. Torres, claiming that he used her credit card fraudulently. So she wants the police to go get him, right? So this is a day before this. So she was mad at him and wants the police to go get him for credit card fraud. Well, it also came out that it was pretty routine for George to use her credit card and debit card because she asked him to go do things. So it was not unusual for him to do that. So this woman here is Mr. Torres's mother. And I'm going to play this and we'll talk about it.
Talk to Jorge Jr.
No, he's working.
Okay.
He's working?
Yeah, he
Does-
works. And that's Aloma. I think let me see. You go this way and you go to Aloma. I
Okay.
think. That's the Ace there.
Oh, he works at Ace Hardware.
Uh-huh.
Okay, we're just here to speak to him about something that possibly happened yesterday. So, but he's at work right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just want to have a chit chat with him. That's all. That's where he's at right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just going to let you know he's an alcoholic.
Is he? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And the lady that he's having problems, she has to his ID, and she don't want to give it to him.
Okay.
Did you hear that? So, Mom here, because I know the lawyer has been putting down the Torres family. And I don't know all about that. And it's irrelevant. It doesn't explain Sarah's behavior. Anyway, Mom here is being straight with the police. She says, my boy is an alcoholic. Oh, and he works, which is more than what Sarah does, apparently. And Sarah has Mr. Torres's ID and won't give it back. But the police are here because Sarah has accused Mr. Torres of using her credit card. So she can do whatever she wants to him, but he can't do anything. And we don't know if she allowed him to use the credit card and then called the cops. We don't know the story behind this.
For a long time.
Okay.
He got everything.
Because he was just arrested, wasn't he?
Yeah, because I think arguing with her.
Yeah, something like that. Okay. But yeah, we just wanted to speak to him about something real quick. If he's at work, we'll have a chit chat with him at work and we'll go from there. So, okay, man, thank you. Appreciate
Okay,
it. Sorry to bother you.
Okay.
Have a good day.
I feel so bad for that woman.
So, I'm guessing you called for a reason.
It's the same guys. She's all happy to see them. She's obviously under the influence of something. And notice how she is coming out of the place with a cigarette in her hand, obviously smoking inside, when she says that they're not allowed to smoke inside. But rules, schmools, who cares? Because Sarah, it's Sarah. She wants what she wants when she wants it, right? Anyway, she's all happy because it's the same guy she saw before, and she's going to be like all flirty.
Told me 24 hours to get a check. Okay. Torres.
Yeah, but you do realize he's here, though, right?
322, 65.
Have you been drinking?
I had a drink.
Okay.
Two things here. I had a drink. So, I mean, this is a thing with alcoholics. They deny that they have a problem. They deny that they drink as much as they do and all of that. This is just her, once again, denying that she's been drinking as much as she had. But the other thing is she doesn't want the police to arrest them. See, yesterday she was mad at Mr. Torres, so she calls the cops about the credit card. Today, things are peachy. She's not mad. And so it's all about what I want in this moment. And the whole world is like you're all like my puppets. But that's not what I want right now. So don't do your job. All of this. Come on. So she's going to be like pouty here because she's not going to get exactly what she wants. She can't control the world. Well, I know that victims of DV, I mean, they go back and forth. They go back to each other. But there is a difference between saying you lived in a toxic relationship, you were in a situation where there was intimate partner violence. That does not equal battered spouse syndrome. Battered spouse syndrome is a different thing. Just because there was DV in the home does not automatically mean that somebody has battered spouse syndrome. Just so you know. One of the issues with battered spouse is that the person being battered is trying to escape and cannot. At no time have we ever heard her claim that Mr. Torres told her she could never leave, told her what would happen if she tried to leave. Nothing like that. It's just she's happy today, so she doesn't want him arrested. So, I don't think this battered spouse is going to work. However, I think the lawyers are going to try and get her interrogation excluded. I think that's what they're going for. And this would be bad. And talking about that is a whole other video. I could. Anyway, but here is an example. Today, everything's peachy. She wanted to use the system yesterday to get him to stick it to him, but not today.
It's raining.
It is raining.
Public at 168 East Pomona and Cornersville Road. Speak to the manager. Or the store manager just broke.
No, don't close the door because I got to keep an eye on my guy.
Sorry.
Yeah, just leave it open.
Okay, well, disappeared in different directions from one of the area chest. One of the Hispanic males.
Yeah, what's gonna happen?
Had tattoos all over him. No shirt, gray pants.
Yeah, I have to.
sneakers.
He's here.
Other one, tattoos.
Yeah, you can stay right here. You can stay right here. He doesn't know that you call. He doesn't know how to
Another
know
black
it.
male, another prescription, card, QA,
I have to.
three white females, requesting an area check. What?
Why do you have to? So we left earlier. We respected your wish earlier. Yeah, we respected your wish earlier, okay? But he's here. Okay.
24 ounces,
It's because it's the mess. That's the only reason why. Yeah, I have to, man, because you can stay right here. He doesn't have to know. He doesn't have to know. He doesn't have to know.
Transfer located occurred last night.
Oh, here's your piece. You can sit back here. It's not raining. It's just sprinkling. It's okay.
Like an 8 gray Chevy Malibu. Go around the corner if you want.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Hey, but I'm literally begging you, don't.
Yeah.
But you know he's gonna have to. Stay. Don't come out here acting up. Okay.
There's nothing I can do?
There's nothing you can do.
Why?
It's just the law. It's the way the law is. All right. So.
I kind of want to give you a hug.
No, you don't need to give me a hug.
Yeah, you're kind of big and berry.
No, that's okay. No hugs today.
She has no boundaries. She wants to give him a hug. That's how she knocked down Mr. Torres' father, trying to give him a hug that he didn't want.
Man, go inside. Man, go inside. Go inside. Go inside. We have one conversation. She's good. She's good. I'm trying to get her to go back inside because we're trying to do something over here. I know. I know, but I'm trying to keep you away from there. You're not listening. You keep coming outside.
Just go inside.
Just go inside.
I have you come talk to you.
Yeah, he'll come talk to you.
No, don't have Rachel come talk to me.
There you go.
No problem. I
Have Rachel. There you go.
George, I'll do whatever I can.
Okay.
DV calls are the worst. They are among the most dangerous calls for an officer to go to. Sometimes you'll get a victim attacking the police officers who are there to help. So these things, for her to not want him to be taken to jail is actually pretty common. So when I said before, you could argue that for the defense or for the prosecution, the argument for the defense would be, well, this is classic, right? She doesn't want him to go. Except she was the one who called the police on him yesterday about the credit card. And it wasn't even about DV, about the credit card. So she's just she wants what she wants. And now she's telling Mr. Torres she will do whatever she can. And in fact, she did. She wrote an affidavit saying that she doesn't want the charges to proceed. And you remember in her police interrogation, she said, oh, well, I got him out of jail every time. Actually, she didn't. Because when I looked through all the records and the history, it was this time. And this was about a credit card fraud. So this wasn't, there was tons of DV and she got him out every time. No, this was about credit card fraud originally, but the reason he's being taken away is because he is in violation of a no contact order. Which, by the way, I mean, obviously, she was happy to have him there. So it's not like he was there terrorizing her, and that happens a lot too. And listen, if you're ever put on a no contact order, even if it's for a thing you never did, then abide by it. You see, the victim is not under any conditions. And we used to get this all the time too, where the accused would say, but she called me. She kept calling me. She told me to come over. Doesn't matter. If you're on conditions, that's it. And if somebody's calling you and telling you to violate your conditions, run away. Don't violate them for anything, because violation of a court order will be used against you at a bond hearing, and used against you in other respects too.
Take it easy. You hear me?
All right.
George! Rachel, come
What's your
talk.
name again? I just said the stuff. So that's all I want you. There you go. Go call Papa Mom.
Babe, I had no idea.
Jesus Christ.
I had no idea. Really. That's why you called the cops and told the cops that he committed a crime against you by stealing your credit card. No idea? Seriously?
Go inside. Call Mom and Pop.
What?
You're not going to do anything for them. There you go.
They
Call
won't
Mom and Pop.
answer.
You can't do
I'll
anything
make
for
sure
him.
they go over there. Babe!
Stop screaming at him. See, she don't listen.
I know.
No. Go back inside. Go back inside. Go back inside. Jesus.
It's at moments like these where things can really escalate at a call. And as for calling the cops, if she'd called the police because they'd been in a physical altercation and then she didn't want him arrested, that's one thing, right? A lot of people, they just want the violence to stop. They don't necessarily want people going to jail. But this wasn't even about a violent situation. This was, I'm ticked off at you and I'm going to get you, so I'm going to use the system as a weapon.
Jesus.
Do you need Jesus right now?
I don't need Jesus.
Did you hear that? Did you see that look on her face? He said, JC. She turns around. Do you need Jesus right now? She's angry. Are you offended, Sarah? I mean, what does Jesus say about, what does God say about bearing false witness?
Go inside. Why do you keep coming out here causing problems? Go inside and call mom and pop. There's nothing you can do for him out here. You're not going to hug him. You're not going to go talk to him. Just go inside and call mom and pop.
How's Henry over there talking to him?
Do you see the rage? Do you hear the rage? You see it? You hear it's oozing. I can't get what I want. I want to go talk to him and you're not that. And that guy is, so that's not fair. He gets to do it, so I should get to do it too because I am in grade 4. You know what, honey? There are no conditions on Henry. There is no contact order between Henry and Mr. Torres. That's why. But it's all about her and what she wants.
Henry's the property manager. He's asking him questions. The deputy's asking him questions. Why is this?
What do you want me to do?
Ma'am, go inside. Go call mom and pops. Let's go. You're not doing anything for him screaming here.
I noticed Sweet Peas in the chat is saying, and he is yelling, it's all right, babe. Love is deaf, dumb, and blind. You know what? Him yelling, it's all right, and him continuing to put up with her nonsense, that sounds more like battered spouse than what she is doing. Who is in control? It's not him.
Why is this so hard for you?
What happened?
I need his mother's
Take her inside. Take her inside. Maybe he'll let you to you.
father's number and his mother's number.
Yes, I got
Yeah.
both. I got both. Hold up, wait a minute. Y'all gotta go. Okay, it's done when it's done.
Why are you screaming for?
I need the number. She's gonna have it.
Goodness gracious.
I have it.
I need to get it right.
I know. She's on something.
So they got domestic incident last week.
I'll give you
He has a no contact order.
He has no.
Period.
Okay.
I know how it feels to be locked up without a number.
Yeah.
Can you write his mother and his father's number?
Come inside.
Come on, let's go. Let's go inside.
You need anything with me?
I need you to go inside like the past 5 minutes.
We need the phone numbers.
Goodness gracious. All right, go.
George!
Yeah, you have to hurry up. It's about the 4. Yeah, bud.
You need her for anything?
No, we don't. We have her information already. So here's what's gonna happen, bud. You're gonna take the ride back down, and because it's almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you're gonna see a judge tomorrow morning. So you'll be able to see her today. Okay? It might be the same judge that gave you the no contact order. Okay? Listen, from here on out, bud, until that case is resolved, you cannot come here, okay, or have contact with her, even if she invites you, okay? She called us earlier. She told us that you guys had a no contact order, okay? She didn't want anything to do with you, like charges, nothing. But we told her because it's domestic, state of Florida has to, okay? So, all right, bud, just make sure he's got nothing on him. I know him. Hey, you have.
What the officer just said to Mr. Torres, remember, this is all hindsight that we get the luxury of here. They don't know what's about to happen, and it looks really bad for him, right? Through all this. What the officer just said in saying, "Oh, she didn't want you arrested," is a way that the officer is actually trying to protect Sarah, who he believes is the victim. Because oftentimes abusers will blame the victim and say, "You got me arrested," when no, it was your behavior that got you arrested. So I just thought I'd point that out.
Anything on you, right, bud? No, okay. We'll make it as cordial as it can be, okay? We promise, man, all right? What you say?
Sure, I'll do it right here. I love you, babe. Don't take it easy. You hear me? I love you. Call Papa and Mom. Tell them that I'm... Hey, Sarah, call Papa and Mom. I'll make Kimmy go over there and do it. Babe! I want you to
No.
Sure! It's alright, babe. George, give me your mom's and your father's.
There's no Sarah,
I don't know it. Tino, Sarah knows. What's the charges against?
So the domestic battery charge that he got hit with last week or whatever it was, he was given a no contact order by the judge. Okay, whether she invites him or not,
I know.
he knows he can't be here. So he was here this morning, and she called us this morning. Okay, he's now back, and he knows by he can't be
Some money, so you can make a phone call.
No, he gets a phone call when he gets down there. Yeah, he gets when he gets in.
You don't have money for nothing.
Well, if you have a piece of paper real quick, you can get it for me. We'll give it to him.
You don't know your mother's number. She has.
If you can get it real quick, we'll give it to him.
Can I get his mother's number? His mother's number?
So Mr. Torres is saying that Sarah has his mother's number. And do you remember in the body cam video at the scene after the big incident, after his passing, she talked about how she encourages him to talk to his family and he's chosen not to and all that jazz? Sounds to me like what's been happening is she has the control and he's kind of isolated. So who is the abused party here? I'm not saying he's an angel, that he never did anything. How are the police not noticing that she's the aggressor? She's angry and screaming, aka the cat lady asks. This is common. It's common. Just because somebody's screaming at the scene or sounds aggressive doesn't mean that they weren't victimized. These things are really tough to tease out. In the end, on this particular case, the whole incident of the credit card fraud didn't go anywhere, but he ended up pleading no contest to violating a no contact order. So he ends up with a record, right? And he ends up suffering the consequence because she got ticked off. So, Okay. The next incident is August 28th, 2019. Okay. Sorry, I forget what order I put all this stuff in. Oh, this was a... Yes. Okay. This incident, here's the police report. And you've heard me talk about how police reports aren't evidence that the thing happened. They're just reports. A police report is an officer's observations and that officer's interpretation of what he or she saw at the time. So it's just like any other witness. And sometimes you can observe things or interpret things and get it wrong. So in this report, it talks about, oh, he's got a history of domestics, which technically there were calls there before because Sarah called. It leaves out the fact that she was in trouble for choking him or that it was self-defense on his part. All of that is not in this report, right? If you read this report by itself, in the absence of the audio I'm going to go through now, is... Sorry, I just totally lost my train of thought because I looked up at the chat. Okay. Oh, if you just looked at this report, you would think, oh my gosh, this is horrible. It looks like he kicked in the door and came after her and punched her in the ear. And all of this sounds terrible. But we're going to listen to what she actually said. And this is why I caution people about just reading a report and assuming that whatever the report says is the case. Because when you listen for yourself to the audio, you're going to hear a big difference. Okay.
But die. But die. But die.
I'm trying.
Great job, man. Stay out of trouble.
Thank you.
She's mama.
I'll call you later.
Okay. But die.
That's yours.
Okay, did you hear that? Sarah called the police from Brian's house. And she had just been visiting with her son at Brian's. And she goes outside and brings her son with her to the police car. She was leaving her visitation. Why doesn't she just leave the child in the house? Why? I mean, how many of you, and I'm going to watch the chat here because I want to know, how many of you would try and protect or shield your child from, the police having to come for something? There's something bad happening, right? He was safe and happy and fine inside Brian's house. But no, she drags the kid out to talk to the cop and then sends him back in the house. So then you're going to hear her asking about a seatbelt, where's the seatbelt and that sort of thing. And I've chopped this up because there are whole sections where nothing is going on. But anyway, the reason she's asking about a seatbelt is because she's actually getting a ride home by the cops. Isn't that convenient? She's at Brian's. It's time for her to go home. And she's going to get a ride home from the cops because she's saying she thinks Mr. Torres is in her house and she doesn't want him there and she's afraid. Well, honey, if you're afraid, why'd you go have a visit and all that jazz? Why didn't you just call the police in the first place? Well, she gets a ride home.
Thanks for Mike, sir.
That's your.
I love you, baby head. Yes.
Oh, with your ex-husband?
Yes.
Okay. And this is where he lives?
Yes. Ooh, I can't see. You're going to my place?
123 Foxtrot, you know, check. That's all the employees.
It's right down the street.
Yeah.
I think it's going on off there.
I can't see the, seatbelt. So what do I do when we get there?
We're all gonna go inside, aren't we?
Susan's asking in the chat, is she bringing her kid home too? And the answer is no. And this is part of why it was bizarre. It wasn't like she was going back with Lucas. Like, why bring him out to the police car?
If you want, are you going to park or just pull?
121, no, forget it.
Well, I'm parking. We're all getting out. Where?
My blinking light from the office.
That one right there?
I'm allowed to get out.
Yeah, I gotta let you out.
123 Echo 122.
It's always going to act surprised.
I'm sorry, I couldn't understand what you said.
She just said, now he's going to act surprised. Really? How do you know that, Sarah? Maybe because he will be surprised. Maybe that's why.
What's his name?
George.
Okay. Does he have a car?
I'm sorry?
Does he have a car?
No. That's my car right there. He does have my keys, though.
Futuristically, you're saying you can't see the video. It's because I don't have video. I only have audio. Sorry.
You know the key? Well.
I'll see these in here, guys.
Do you have both of these? I'll sit in here.
Just, I can't get out of the house.
Well, you told me you're already getting kicked out.
No, I can't.
Is there a back door or a sliding door in it?
Yes. You mean,
Nope, you're good.
You go 10-12, just let us know.
Yep.
I said you already bailed.
What's your plan if you did?
I'm gonna want to call the doors.
How are you gonna get inside?
My ex-husband actually has a spare key. Are the blinds open?
121 Alpha.
A little bit.
For 2112.
What about there?
Never. There's 29 check. For 2112. 124 Delta, 124 Charlie, unit check.
Hello.
2112.
Locked on the back.
Oh, so he locked the back too.
Yeah, the back's locked.
Hey, well, you wanna call your ex-husband? You got a phone?
It's about the time.
Okay.
It's gonna be a lot.
There's a
That's not to say she's not in the house.
The elevator's on the second floor.
So remember, she's saying, okay, Jeffrey, just because other channels have it doesn't mean I can get it independently. So I personally couldn't get it. I'm sorry. I can't just take it from another channel. So about Sarah's behavior. They just came from Brian's house. So she knows coming home, she knows she doesn't have a key. So why does she not get the spare key from Brian while she's at his house. This doesn't make any sense. So she ends up having to call him.
Excuse me?
That's not to say that he's not in there, just because the doors are locked.
I don't understand what you're trying to say. Do you think he's inside?
Yes.
Okay, well, we need a key so we can get inside and see if he's inside. That's what I'm getting at.
And if your phone's gonna die, there's a charger in back on the back side of the porch.
Oh, yeah. Hey. If he's in the house, he's not coming to the door, but you have my spare key. I can't get in. If you could, there's no other way of me getting in my house. Unfortunately, can you please bring me the spare key? Yes, please. The front door and back door. I have no way of getting in. Thanks, bye.
121 Echo, yes, just logging in check.
Where's he live at, ma'am?
I'm sorry?
Is that you said that's your ex?
No, it's my husband.
He lives just right down the line.
Okay, thanks.
121
He'll be here in
Echo,
like
21 Charlie,
2 minutes.
Charlie
Perfect.
29.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
Is your this your
21
three things here? Your ex-boyfriend? Is that correct?
This is my place.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Did you catch that? So the officer asked, "Is this your boyfriend or ex-boyfriend?" And she said, "This is my place." So she's about to start some narrative instead of answering the question. So that tells me that they're still together, or at least Sarah has led Mr. Torres to believe they're still together, but she doesn't actually want to tell the police that because she needs them to believe what she wants them to believe. I think she wants to get rid of George for the night, and so she's going to use the cops. And don't you find it bizarre that she's calling Brian the poor victim? Oh my gosh, I can't get in my house. You have to come. It's the only way. Is she taking pleasure in upending everybody's life? She was just there. She could have just told Brian, "Hey, I need to take a spare key with me." What is that about?
Simple question. Your boyfriend or ex-boyfriend?
I don't know what to call him.
It's one or the other. That's a pretty easy one.
Yes.
Okay. Does
For
he not
3
have any
years.
weapons?
No.
Okay.
He was arrested last week for bad TV.
You guys actually want to take a picture of my ear?
I saw he was arrested before. Was that on you also, like a month ago?
It was last week.
Here. Look.
120 Bravo, 120 Charlie.
That's why I called you all. And again, I was sleeping.
2115.
He hates it when I sleep.
So she's being asked what happened, and she tells what she did, and she's launching into a narrative. I was sleeping. Man, this thing with her and sleep, eh? I was sleeping, and he hates it when I sleep.
How much has he had to drink tonight?
Only God knows.
How much have you had to drink tonight?
2 drinks. And that was, what, 4 hours ago?
2 drinks, which is probably minimized, and 4 hours ago. Wait a minute. You are coming from a visitation with your son. So what? You were drinking before you went to visit your child? Is that what happened?
So what's the layout of the house? Is it both floors? Yes. It's 2. Is this part of your, or is that, so it's these 2 windows right here?
What kind of vehicle does he drive?
I guess you stay up here. I'm going to go around there.
But I don't.
That's him?
Y'all can have to sit. Y'all can open the door.
Oh, yeah, you're going to stay outside till we make sure nobody's inside.
I'll give it back. Thank you so much.
Just hanging out here.
I am. I'm not going in there.
Are they making announcements?
You guys don't have to do that.
Man, we have a way to do.
I want to point something out here. She's calling the cops on him. She knows that in a DV situation that the officers will treat this as a potentially dangerous situation. And they go in guns drawn. Well, they have to, because there are so many times on a DV call where the guy comes at them with a knife or he has a gun or something. So they have to be careful, right? It's like an officer safety thing. So they're going in guns drawn, and you don't have to do that. But you know what? This calling the police when the situation isn't what the caller purports it to be puts the officers at risk, and put Mr. Torres at risk. Because what happens if he had a phone in his hand and picked it up and an officer thought it was a gun and they shoot him? So this ends up being high risk. But you know what? Sarah wants what she wants. And fair enough, she wants him out of the house. But, you know, what a heck of a way to do this.
Anything?
Okay.
Just let's do a thing, okay?
Open the door.
Gonna make announcements?
Sheriff's office, be in there, come on out.
A little louder. A little louder. Get in there.
Sheriff's office,
Okay.
be in there, come on out.
All right, Patty. You're okay.
There you go.
Hiding in the bathtub upstairs. Okay?
Yes.
So,
Okay, there was a gap because all there was on the audio was just a lot of noise and no one talking. What happened was they went in and they found him hiding in the bathtub upstairs. Well, that sounds scary as crap, doesn't it? I worked on a case once where the guy got out of jail and he went immediately to her house and he was hiding behind curtains, waiting for her to get home. So scary. Lots of situations like that where the guy's in the house and he hides, waiting for her to go to sleep or whatever. Well, turns out that it's not the scary thing that it seems, okay? Yes, he was hiding in the bathtub. He wasn't hiding from Sarah. He was hiding from the police. You see, he knew there was no contact order, and he knew he was going to be in trouble if the police caught him there. But Sarah knew that too, because we just watched a video where he was in trouble for violating the no contact order. And she's calling the police again and warning them, oh, he's going to act surprised. Yeah, I bet you he didn't know that she was calling.
he gave me his side of things. I need you to give me your side of things in person right here. I know we kind of talked on the phone, but I need you to tell me what happened tonight. So what happened?
Okay, well, pardon my language, because it's not me. I was called a and a bitch.
Okay.
Okay, two things here. One is, pardon my language, this isn't me. I am pure as the driven snow. I'm lovely and nice. Till you make me mad. But anyway. So she uses the words. You know what? He probably did say those things. But again, she says, I was called A, and she gives the horrible names. I was called this. Again, this is a signal that she is not telling the whole truth here. It's the way she's phrasing that. It wasn't he called me this, or we were talking about this and then he launched into this, or he was mad about that and he called me these things. No, I was called this. So she left out a whole bunch of stuff before that.
And I'm not a mother to my son.
Okay.
All the while, nonetheless, I was sleeping before that.
Okay. So you're woken up to him calling you. So you're saying?
All the while, nonetheless, I don't know what she's talking about. And she's saying, I was sleeping before that. So yet again, she's hiding time, because when the officer asks, oh, so you were woken up by him, like, he doesn't get it. And the reason the officer doesn't get it is because it doesn't make sense, because she's missed a bunch of stuff on purpose. What was that word? Intentional? Anyway, so, oh, did he wake you up by calling you these names? Well, no. So it's kind of slipping out that, well, actually, that's not what happened. So she did this with all her lawyers, where she's writing these letters and allegations and everything. She likes to leave an impression. She will say enough to lead you to believe a thing so that you accept a truth that she wants you to believe. There's no such thing as the whole truth with her. And my concern is, if they're going to use battered spouse, and this is the kind of thing that's going to be presented, and it's not the whole truth, and Mr. Torres is not here to defend himself, I hope that the prosecutor goes at this hard. So far, the prosecution has been very nice. I'm hoping that they're just being very nice for now, and that changes in a significant way.
Thought that I'm like, feed the beast, go outside and smoke a cigarette with him.
Okay.
Try to calm things down. Well, the whole time I was there saying nothing. Nothing. I was called names.
Okay. So you guys were smoking a cigarette and he was calling you names, being verbally aggressive with you. Verbally abusive.
Before that.
So she can't even get her story straight. What happened? When he was calling her names, she's leaving so much out. So the officer is trying to fill this in because he needs to write a report, and it has to make sense. And this is a pretty normal thing for people to do. And this is why it's so important that when you are analyzing a statement, not to assume that you actually know what the person means, because what might be happening is they're hoping that you will assume what they mean. They're hoping you will fill in the blanks using your own mind. Well, the person must mean this. That's what they're hoping, so that they can get away with deceiving you. So this is not a straight story here. So he hasn't got anything out of her yet.
Where I'm like, I don't want to get hit anymore. So I'm just going to go downstairs and smoke a cigarette with him to try to calm.
I don't want to get hit anymore. Wait a minute. She never made an allegation of him hitting her tonight. So what the heck? Or is she making reference now to previous incidents?
Calm him down.
Okay. So you're saying, okay, I'm trying to get a timeline of things. So start from the beginning and give me the timeline.
I was asleep.
Not literal time, but in a reference of incidents, how they occurred tonight.
I was asleep, and again, he comes in and wakes me up.
He wakes you up. Okay.
He's out of sorts.
Okay.
So I'm trying to figure things out.
Okay.
Where it's like, don't make it worse. Just go downstairs with him. Because he gets mad at me because I go to sleep.
Okay.
I go downstairs. Smoke a cigarette. The whole time I'm being belittled.
Okay.
Pardon me for saying talk shit about.
So first she was going to go and feed the beast, so to speak, appease him, have a cigarette with him. But now she's describing, I go downstairs, I have a cigarette, not we. And I think that those pronouns are really important. because I don't think it was her going down and feeding the beast. I think she went down because she wanted a cigarette.
And then?
I walked off barefoot.
So now she's gone down, she's had a cigarette, and then she walked off barefoot. What? Where was the assault? He called her names? It's actually, she didn't actually say that. I was put down. I was called these names. So again, she's hiding bits of information, like what led up to that, right? He woke her up. Well, she doesn't say how he woke her up. Did he knock on the door? Did he say, Sarah, wake up? And there's no assault here. There's no crime here that is being described at all. There was a coach officer I worked with once who told me a story about how he got a phone call from the local strip bar, and he got there and there was a car window smashed out, and the guy said the report was the car break-in and that his radio was stolen. That was the complaint. So when he was asked to give the statement, the guy said, I came outside and it was a mess and my window was smashed. And this officer placed the guy under arrest for filing a false report because he never said my radio was stolen, because it was an insurance fraud. And that was how the guy was caught, because he actually, because of his own statement, he didn't say that the radio was stolen. It was his buddy who took it. So here, this is very similar. You listen to what's not said, and what's not said is that any crime took place. She's mad because he called her names.
Okay, so when did he hit you? You said he hit you.
That was in the bedroom.
When? I just asked for a
When
timeline.
he woke me up.
Okay. He woke you up.
121 units, 1012 intersect.
By hitting you? Is that what you're telling me? Or what happened? I need you to
He
tell me.
kicked the door open. He's kicked the
You're adding a lot of details that I need you to be very concise with.
Yes, sir.
When I'm telling you, I need a timeline of the events.
Yes.
So now he kicked the door open. This is new. So this officer is obviously thinking, yeah, this isn't right. But now she's going to go with, yeah, he kicked the door in. Somebody's saying that it's interesting how she brings up insults. And maybe this was the real pain she suffered, not so much. And I missed the rest of the comment. Yeah, I think she has an ego that is such that it's easily wounded. I mean, how dare you, right?
How am I going to corroborate your story?
He kicked the door open. 4 times.
How do you kick the door open 4 times? So what, he kicked the door open? And what? Did she go shut the door, or he shut the door, or did they have an interaction and then somebody shut the door? What? And when we get told that, normally you go look at the door. Is there evidence that that door has been kicked? Is there a broken door frame? Are there footprints? Are there splinters? Are there anything on there that would corroborate what she's saying? And how do you kick a door in 4 times?
Time, I gave in. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
That's when I got punched in my ear. On the
And that's when I got punched. So that's when is not, this is what happened. That's when is a description of here's the story and here's the narrative. And it's at this point in the narrative that this event happened because it's fiction. When you hear that's when this thing happened in this narrative, I mean, you got to be suspicious of that. And there was something else I wanted to say, and I can't remember. Oh, yeah, I was hit. Not he hit me. And there's no description. He kicked the door open, and then what? Did he jump on the bed and hit you for no reason? Did he, what's going on? She's not saying. But the defense is going to use this as if, and look at this police report, it sounds like he kicked the door in and attacked this poor sleeping woman. That's what it sounds like if you just go by the report. But clearly, when you listen to her, that's not what happened.
Fourth time, where I was like, don't do it anymore. Just go downstairs. Go smoke a cigarette.
Okay.
And that's what I did.
So now she's going to go smoke a cigarette, not go smoke a cigarette with him. She wants a smoke, so she's going downstairs. That's what's going on. She's not calming him or feeding the beast or having a cigarette with him. No, she's going to have a cigarette.
Okay.
And then I walked off barefoot.
Okay. And on the phone, you told me that you attacked him as well.
I didn't attack him.
You said you exchanged, you had a physical altercation on the phone. That's what you told me.
I pulled him off of me.
He said he has marks because I was fighting for my life.
I was being honest with you.
Okay.
She had said to him, according to this officer, this conversation here, the officer saying to Sarah, well, you said you were fighting for your life. So let's talk about hyperbole. If you're fighting for your life, what kind of injuries and what kind of mess in the house would you expect to see as a first responder? Fight for your life. And after that, do you go and visit and everything's peachy? You go visit somebody else? Is that what you do? Is that what's going on? Or after a fight for your life, do you call 911 then? So she wasn't fighting for her life. I'm sorry.
So what happened? Because you didn't include any of that in there.
This is what happened.
But you didn't include any of that information in the story you just told me, so I'm trying to get a timeline of what happened.
Then I come downstairs.
So he kicks the door open.
4 times.
He kicks the door open 4 times. And then what? And then what happens?
He's always talking about his kids. Pardon me for saying, a cunt and a bitch. And not a mother.
Okay.
I was talking about his kids. And so I'm and she lists the awful things. Well, what was she saying about his kids? And I thought she was having the smoke with him to feed the beast and calm everything down. Then why are you getting into an incendiary conversation? Why would you do that? If you're truly a victim of battered spouse syndrome, right? And you are afraid and you are trying to just placate him. You're going to act nice. You're not going to be combative. You're going to be nice and say, yes, dear. Yes, you're wonderful, lovely. Everything's great. That's what you're going to do. You're going to pretend that everything's okay. You're going to pretend to get along. You're not going to be trashing his kids or saying anything about his kids in such a manner as he's going to be coming back at you with some choice comments or insults of his own. This is not battered spouse. Now, some expert might stand up in court and say something that explains this little bit, but I kind of don't think so. And again, she's leaving out information.
I'm just trying to sleep.
Okay.
So, feed the beast. Go downstairs. That's after this.
So why are you leaving that out? You're not telling me how that happened. Again, that's like the third time you've done
I don't
that.
know what you want me to tell you. He got on top of me and punched me in my
That's what I want you to tell me.
Yeah.
And I've asked you like 4 or 5 times.
Hey, well, I didn't know you needed that specific.
You didn't even include it at all.
Me and ear. I saw white.
Okay, so he kicks the door open, jumps on top of you, punches you in the ear. Am I right? Or am I wrong?
No, you're right.
Okay. You're just sleeping in bed.
As I was last time, he doesn't like it when I sleep. I just try to avoid it, so I go to sleep.
Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying? I just would rather sleep. I'm always tired.
Well, why was...
You know, she made this remark here. She says, I'm always tired. And that caught my attention because it made me wonder if she is actually depressed or something. Always tired, plus a substance abuse problem. So I think there's more going on. I mean, obviously, her life isn't great, and she obviously has issues aside from this relationship. And she had issues before she got into this relationship because, according to Brian, she started drinking before their marriage even ended.
He back here?
You tell me, and we'll both know.
Well, he's been here for days.
You tell me, and we'll both know? What the crap is that?
Days. No, he hasn't been here for days, and you guys haven't been getting along all fine and good.
He was here.
So he's been there for days. Do you remember at the beginning of this call, she told the police officer he is going to act surprised. Well, yeah, because he's been there for days and everything was fine, and she just wants him out for the night. So she kills a couple of birds with one stone. She gets a ride home with the cops and gets them to kick him out because she must want to do something else. Right? And of course he's going to act surprised because he thinks everything's fine.
Here, what? What's today? Wednesday?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say he was here on Monday.
So the officer confronts her. Oh, he's been here for a few days. Oh, no. But she's saying, well, it's Wednesday and he was here on Monday. It's like, come on.
His bike is here. His clothes are here. Get what you have to get and go. He doesn't like it when I say that. That's why this happens.
You have to get him to go. He doesn't like it when I say that. That's why this happens. Except not once has she described him yelling at her, insulting her, hitting her, doing anything to her as a result of her saying that she wants him to leave. Not once. Not just in this call, but in any call. Not once. And part of battered spouse syndrome requires that the victim believe that there is no other escape other than the crime. That there is no way out other than that. And she has never, ever said that. And here she sort of hints at it, but I think that's because it's useful. She's never, ever described such a situation where he became angry or threatened or said she couldn't leave. In fact, in her interrogation at the police station, she described going upstairs to read a book because they had too much together time. And when times when she did that, then later on when they got together, things would be good again. They were refreshed and it was fine. So if he's not, she can escape. He's not even pursuing her within the house. This stuff just makes me so mad because there are so many victims out there who don't get believed, who get victim blamed, who aren't taken seriously, who are misunderstood. And she is abusing the system. And I'm not saying he was an angel, but man, is she playing the game.
It's not fair. Ask the neighbor down here. Ask that neighbor over here.
Okay.
Ask his boss.
So I'm asking you.
I'm telling
How come when he contacts you after you know he has a no contact order, why don't you call the police?
I don't want to get in trouble.
Why are you getting in trouble if he contacts you?
I got in trouble last time.
Did you see that? Did you catch that redirect? I don't want to get in trouble. I'm going to be the victim. And I got in trouble last time. Honey, you got in trouble last time because you strangled him. That's why you got in trouble. You didn't get in trouble for calling the police. And subsequent to last time, you did call the police again about a credit card thing because you were ticked off at him. So this is baloney.
One
I
last
gotta
time.
take my son to school tomorrow. Just sleep in my bed. It's not fair. Remove him, please.
Sarah, I'm going to do my job. Don't worry about that. What I want to know is why you're not doing your part in all of this.
Because I'm afraid. I'm afraid.
So when he contacts you 3 days ago, why didn't you...
Now she's afraid. She hasn't been afraid before, but now she's afraid. She knows what she's supposed to say.
call the police? Knowing that he's not supposed to be contacting you. Why are you doing that? I would love that.
His whole family despises me.
You see that? Redirect. Because she might actually have to answer for her own behavior while somebody else has to be the bad guy. So it's Mr. Torres or it's the police because I got in trouble. And now, well, it's that family. They despise me. You know what? If I was her family, I would probably despise her too after all this.
I'm afraid
That has nothing to do with it.
Yes, it does.
Okay, but you called us tonight,
Yes,
right?
because that.
Okay.
There's
And that's the point. She's saying, he's saying, but you called us tonight. So, I mean, obviously you're not that afraid because you called. And she says, because of her ear. But she had called before for the credit card fraud because she was ticked off at him. So this, I'm afraid, is nonsense. And he just proved it.
so many things that he has done.
And you guys are going back and forth with each other. This has happened numerous times. But for some reason, you guys still live together, right? You guys still are together.
Technically doesn't live here. He lives at his parents' house.
Okay. You're getting caught up in that. That's not the point I'm trying to make. Why are you feeding into an unhealthy relationship?
Sometimes
You don't have
that's
an
what I'm
answer.
supposed to do. I'm afraid of it.
Do you notice again? So this officer did two things. One, I thought this was kind of cool. He recognized in the moment that we're getting caught up in something else and it's a redirect and I don't want to get caught in the weeds here. And I thought that was really good that he recognized that in his own head and switched gears. So he asked her, why she's feeding into this unhealthy relationship. And once again, she's called to account for her actions. And all of a sudden, once again, it's everybody else's fault. And she's the victim. She doesn't know what to do. She cannot take responsibility or even look at her own behavior. She just cannot. But we're supposed to believe this is all Mr. Torres and she is like just pure and wonderful. We're just supposed to go wherever she wants to take everybody.
I'm afraid of his family. My son can't come over here because he's here.
He doesn't live here.
He doesn't live here.
Why? Okay.
He did previously. But since all of this has happened and I continue, I'm surprised.
So that's interesting. I know people have criticized Brian for letting the child visit, but Brian might not have had a choice. Brian might have been just obeying a court order. And now Sarah is saying, well, my son can't come over because Mr. Torres is here. Well, what I don't know, and maybe somebody else out there does, is that because Brian put his foot down, or did CPS get involved? So something happened there where now all of a sudden the child can't come over. The neighbors had told police that they witnessed Mr. Torres playing with the child and being really good with the child. So I wonder if there was something else that was going on that caused this, that where somebody put their foot down and she wasn't allowed to have the child there. Root Irish says this cop has common sense. He isn't letting Sarah make the cops be her personal security team. I mean, the cop has to fill out a report, and he has to fill out a report that is somewhat coherent, and he can't get a story out of her. And he can't if you write a report that says she was asleep and got hit in the ear and had a smoke to feed the beast, and that's it. So we're going to arrest him. I mean, that's the staff sergeant. Here, the staff sergeant would hand the officer back the report and say, what the heck is wrong with you? Give me some facts.
As my ex-husband even brought the key over. I think he wants to do the same thing where it's just get him out. I want to see my son. It's not fair.
Okay. All right, well, how much of you going to fill out all the paperwork for me? All the domestic violence paperwork?
Like, have all this.
Is that a yes? I'm looking for a yes or no. It's a yes?
He was hiding in the bathtub. I told you guys he was here. Yes.
All right, come over here.
Good morning. 5 Southfield River at Parkfield Drive in Wall. This is email 30 years of age, very short duty, the biggest mill 2136.
Let's go to the front. I'll bring it to you. Because he's inside. Because he's inside. Well, this time you're writing it right there. So relax. What?
I never think I'll call you out. Ever.
Okay.
Well, she just sleeping around better now. Are you gonna have my son come over?
It's your house.
Did you hear that? She says to the officer, he wants her to fill out a report, to write it. And I really, really wanted to get her written report in her own writing, that part of the police package, but it's not available. I can't get it. So anyway, she says to him, "Can I have a friend come over?" And he says, "Well, it's your house." I think she wanted him out of the house because she wanted a friend over. That's just my opinion. I could be totally wrong.
I'm sorry? You don't want that book? Okay. Get this started. There. I write your name, what happened tonight, to include you being struck. I need all of the information in there, okay?
I'm gonna take a picture of it.
I will. Do that first.
You made it right down there. I went downstairs and all that good stuff.
I need whatever you told me over there, I need you to write down. All right, sign here. What you're saying is that if you develop some kind of hearing,
It gets worse.
Yes, we can use that information.
I want to point out that according to the officer, what the officer wrote in the report is that she had a minor scratch in her ear. So they're going to take pictures of this and document this. But there's a problem here. If the injury was, there's a difference between the injury being severe or being a problem in and of itself and the injury simply being corroboration to the story. As for the severity of it, well, obviously it was a minor scratch. And obviously if she was injured, it wasn't bad enough to stop her. I mean, she went and visited with her ex and everything before coming back, before calling the police and getting a ride home. So, I mean, obviously it wasn't so severe that she needed to take action right away. Also, as for corroboration, well, she's saying that he hit her in the ear. And so what is the mechanism that causes the scratch in the ear then? Right? What is the mechanism of injury? So is it a punch? Did he have a ring? Did a nail go in her ear? Like, what is the scratch in her ear? And there's nothing to show that this couldn't have happened while she was at Brian's, playing with her kid or somewhere else along the way. Did she leave there and then go to the bar and something happened? I mean, we don't know. Right? So a defense lawyer could jump all over this. A defense lawyer would have this thrown out.
Can I sign my middle name too?
Just however you normally sign. This one, like that, Sarah Boone. All right. You said you've had one of these before? Yeah. Sure, you got a couple. All right. If the injury worsens, side of your head swells up, anything like that, you want photographs of it, go to that address or call the phone number. All right, somebody can take pictures. So you keep that. Since I'm not going to give you a booklet, that's going to be your case number, okay?
Yeah, I know.
White pickup truck occupied by two.
Oh, wait, that's not right. It's this one here. This is the last one. No? Yes.
The one from last week?
Yeah, that's okay.
That's the right one?
Yes, that's the right one. 79759.
So they're gonna call me tomorrow and say, hey, you need to show up for court? If I don't show up, do I get in trouble?
If you just explain the circumstances why you can't, then you won't get in trouble.
See, because she lied her face off here, and now she might have to go to court, and she doesn't want to go.
Trouble, that's for sure. So, I'm just trying to reschedule with the day that works for you or whatever.
But I have to go? I was
Just discuss with them on the phone. I'm not a lawyer. I can't tell you that. All right? So you are going to go stand by that car. I'm going to have Ben bring him down. He's going to get in here, and then you can go inside. Good?
I can go inside.
Well, after I bring him out, put him in my car. Found it. There we go. Take care. Yep. And Sonny. 124 Charlie, can you bring him down? Will you grab him shoes and a wallet and his phone if he wants it? No. Just call us sooner next time. That's right, yeah, I'll do that.
120 Charlie.
Wait for him once he gets in the car. Just hang out. Don't say anything to him.
No, I won't.
That car? Yeah, go ahead. Oh, George. You already knew you were in trouble? So.
Let me do a quick search.
Yeah. Stand right here against that flag.
So he's talking to Mr. Torres and saying, well, you knew you were in trouble, right? And he said, yeah. He knew that he was in violation of a no contact order. That no contact order ultimately was changed to a no hostile contact. And I want to point out that there was some discussion with George, and they got his side of the story. And I want to point out that George said he knew he was in trouble because he believed he was not allowed to be inside of the residence, that he was uncooperative when he was asked what had happened. So you can take that as he doesn't want to admit to any guilt, but you could also take that as not wanting to get her in trouble, which again is something that is common among DV victims. They don't want to disclose and get the person in trouble. So George is not saying anything. So you could take that one way or the other or both. And but he did eventually say that Sarah often hit him. And he doesn't call the police. That sounds more like battered spouse. He also said that Sarah did not injure him physically that evening, and the officer observed no visible injuries. And George said that he and Sarah had both been drinking over the evening, and, he ended up being arrested. And I think that's the end of that report. So the other thing in the reports that I noticed was that at one point, they asked, well, did you hit her in self-defense? And he said, well, no, this is for one of the incidents. And he doesn't really respond when they ask if he hit her at all. So it sounded like he was ticked, like she came at him and hit him, and he was like, yeah, well, I'll hit you back. So that's what it sounds like. But again, he's not here to say anything. And so I think this call was a really good example of how different it can appear when you look at a police report and actually listen to an actual statement. So, and I wanted to say that all of these, except for the violation of the no contact order, which Mr. Torres pled no contest to, all of these ended up being dropped by the prosecution because basically there was no reasonable prospect of conviction. And only one time did Sarah actually write an affidavit and say she didn't want the charges to go forward. And that was the time that for the credit card fraud and that breach. So I think that's it for this. I am concerned about these lawyers and what they're going to do with this. And I really hope that prosecution really comes back swinging. So, any questions or comments? I'm going to talk to you guys. So my chat is going slow. Oh, Traveling Teresa says, George wasn't a snitch. That's why he never told on her. That could be. It's common for victims to not want to tell. And there's a whole laundry list of reasons why they don't want to disclose. Hi, Evil Oddish. Give Watson some ear scratches. Oh, yeah. Lizzie's saying that somebody thinks the lawyers are trying to get the charges reduced to manslaughter. This is at least second degree. And this battered spouse bothers me. Battered spouse is different, by the way, from straight up self-defense. So battered spouse is like an expansion of self-defense. And one of the issues within that is that the victim can't escape. But there is no evidence of that here. The fact that he kept coming back was, well, she was inviting him. And when he did come back, she's able to leave and go to Brian. So it's not like he was holding her hostage in the house. So she was going out. So she went to Brian's and didn't bother to call the police until it was convenient. So I agree, CB. She's not a battered spouse. Is she battered? Probably. It sounds like there was mutual aggression. Battered spouse syndrome is a different thing. And I don't think that is here at all. Yana says the lawyer filed as pro bono. Yeah, that's the other thing. The lawyer is saying one thing on the record and another thing to news. And I think I wouldn't be surprised if part of the game plan is to be all over the news. Sarah's like the girl who cried wolf. Well, I guess, yeah. The state already has an expert on retainer. I hope so. And the commenter is saying, yeah, we'll open her up for testing. And testing is something she probably failed with previous experts. Yeah. If they're going to go with this, then the prosecution has a right to also have her examined. Colette says this lawyer seems to be about as ethical as Sarah. Yeah. So, research indicating survivors of domestic violence tend to use passive verbs and diminish the responsibility of their partner while at the same time accepting responsibility linguistically. Okay, that's really interesting. And if you have a link to a journal article or something, I would like to read that. I would say, though, that when you're looking at the yes. So when you're looking at the linguistics, there's no hard and fast, this thing means this always, right? You have to look at the whole picture. domestic violence victims do minimize, very much so. And that is part of the problem in intervening, is that they do minimize so much. It's to the extent that they actually lose sight of how dangerous it really is and how bad it really is. When you talk about linguistics in Sarah, I noticed that while she does use this passive voice, she doesn't concurrently take responsibility or make it seem like her fault. What you'll hear often is something like, well, instead of the victim saying, well, he hit me, she'll say, well, I know he likes his dinner on time, and I just didn't I was late. I didn't get it on time. And so linguistically, she's minimizing what he did, or sort of leaving it out and taking the blame. Sarah's the opposite. She is not taking any responsibility at all. Yana's saying he's done 4 interviews now? Really? I've only seen 2. And Sarah's ego is 7'4". That's funny. Patty says George seems like he was docile. Yeah, you never know what. I mean, you see how somebody behaves with the police versus how they behave behind closed doors. We don't know. But, when you look at the interviews of the neighbors, you hear they were fighting, but you're also hearing a lot about how aggressive she was and how she had no boundaries and how she was touchy, like physically touchy with people. Somebody says his ex-wife, George's ex-wife, said he was not violent. I think that's important. I think if there was a past history of violence on his part, that would go, for Sarah. Just because somebody was never violent doesn't mean that they can't be. But past behavior is the best predictor of future behavior. And we do know that Sarah was physically aggressive in the past to an intimate partner, and that partner was Brian. Okay. I'm missing a lot of, I think, the chat. I can only see a little bit. Patty thinks she was definitely the instigator. Addie says, yeah, this defense is going to be ugly and horrible to listen to. And Bull, I have a feeling that's going to be the case. It's too bad. Ray is George's ex-wife on the prosecution witness list. I don't know why he would be at this point. Or, sorry, I don't know why she would be. And somebody's bringing up the fact that so many men are afraid to say that their wife or girlfriend abused them. And yeah, this is a thing. This happens to men too. The majority of victims are female and the majority of perpetrators are male. But that does not mean there are no female abusers and that there are no male victims. And there's also abuse in same-sex couples. So it does get overlooked. Somebody's asking me, somebody's saying, I think Sarah knew he had passed away on that night. I wonder. I'm waiting for medical examiner's testimony. I'm really interested in hearing that. Addie says George's ex could testify to his not being violent if they would let that in because she did say it. Yeah. In order for that, first of all, the defense would have to open the door because that has nothing to do with this case as it sits, right? So the defense would have to open the door. And, I don't know if they would let it in. You could argue that just because, we've heard that, females saying, well, my buddy never essayed me, therefore he wouldn't essay somebody else. That's not, it doesn't mean a lot. Saying, well, he was such a nice guy. I knew him. He's a nice guy. Doesn't mean anything. My uncle was abused by his wife and people in my family laughed it off. Finally, she got arrested. Wow. Yeah, it does happen. And that's the other thing in society. It's not taken seriously. Look, men are human beings. And I don't care if you're, 6'5" and a big strapping man. You don't deserve to be hit. You don't deserve to be abused. I don't care who you are, how old you are, what gender you are. I don't care. You don't assault people. You just don't do that. Somebody thinks she staged the puzzle and paint stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen the crime scene photographs. So, and today the defense filed their intention to use battered spouse, by the way. Right on time, the deadline. I think the deadline was tomorrow. And they have only until September 10th to file objections on evidence. So I'm watching for that. Beach girl, men are physically stronger, yeah. Yeah, so one of the things I think that gets pointed out is that when a woman strikes a man, she's on average less likely to injure her, whereas a bigger person striking a smaller person is more likely to injure them. It just kind of makes sense, right? Commenter is asking if he was on parole for something, going to abuse prevention classes, that sort of stuff. I think, and saying, that's why he was less likely to fight back because he doesn't want to go back to jail. Well, yes and no. I mean, he was in violation of a court order by being there. And the reason he was going to these classes was because he got caught being there after she had accused him. So they made him go to this stuff. And she was all over that too. Right? Really controlling of all of it. Patty's saying she tried to control everything. Phone, car, place to live. Yeah. Yeah. Even in that first call, he's saying, well, she has my mother's number. See, he had a phone at one point. I don't know what happened to it. Because by the end, he relied on her for her phone and he wanted to talk to his brother. And she needed to make a call. So that last phone call with his brother on that last night, that got cut short because of her. She controlled everything. Both of them should have gone for counseling. You mean, Miss Catherine? Yeah, I think so. And I think that it didn't get recognized, right? Colette says, I question the expertise of any professional who would watch these videos of Sarah and be duped into thinking that Sarah was the victim. I agree that I mean, I would have trouble. I'd have to have a big conversation with any colleague who is saying, oh no, she's totally the victim. I think I'd want to debate some things. My question though is, are they going to use a report like this that sounds terrible, looks horrible, or are they going to actually show them the actual footage? So a lot of experts will say what they're being paid to say. You know, Sonata, I don't think so. I know that is the common narrative or common belief. I've been an expert witness. I've been turned down, been first asked to be an expert witness, and then provided my report and had the lawyers say to me, we think we don't want you to testify because what I would say would actually make their client look bad, would be not good for their case. So they decide they'll pay me for my report and then not take it any further because they don't want me to testify. So I don't personally know any expert who would compromise their integrity or throw away your career by just testifying to something that isn't true because some side paid you for it. I mean, people pay for the expert's time just like anybody else working a job gets paid for their time and their expertise. They're not paid for their opinion. And I think that's a distinction. Colette, it's not so much about money, but about handshakes and who you know. I think this lawyer is calling on favors. I think he is. Y2K Survivor says you're ethical, though some aren't. You know, I don't know. I've never met one who would. It's not just me. I think the vast majority wouldn't testify to something that they knew wasn't the case, just for the money. That, I mean, you just throw away. You have no credibility then, right? And then who's gonna hire you to be an expert after that? Amber, did you see the report of them, Boone and Lawyer, having a shouting match already? Yes, I saw that. It was in the IMS report from the jail that Owens and Boone were having such an argument that a corrections officer had to come in and tell them to settle down. And this was actually before he was officially her lawyer. So I kind of think that he's a strong personality, and I think he might get her. I understand maybe her narcissism even. So I don't know. I think he's stronger than she is. We'll see. I just hope that they don't get away with him withdrawing from the case. Yes, someone's commenting about the probation officer calling and thanking Sarah for being with Mr. Torres and how Sarah made him a better man. Well, honestly, I would really like to talk to that probation officer. because I don't believe that. Oh, and Sarah said, oh, and the probation officer hugged me. Well, I kind of maybe Sarah was the one being huggy. I don't know. Yeah, I don't care really whether it's the victim or the accused what the siblings have done. Maybe if we were getting into a discussion of family dynamics or generational trauma, all of that, then it would be relevant. But Sarah did what she did, and Mr. Torres did what he did in their relationship, regardless of what siblings did. Apparently, after all of this, I mean, if I was held responsible for things my brother did, I'd be pretty ticked off, right? You can't, you can't, it doesn't work like that. Anybody can go get those jail logs. Just go to Orange County Clerk of Courts. You can just look them up. Even I can get them, and I have a hard time getting documents. Chunky the bear is the hugger, Sub Rosa says. Okay, so I think that covers what I plan to do today. I don't know how long we've been on here. Unless anyone has. Oh, Addie's saying she is weirdly huggy. And the neighbor even talked about asking her to back off. Yeah. Yeah, she has no boundaries. It's almost like people, there's so many features of narcissism here. There's just so much of that. Okay, guys. Oh, it's been over 2 hours. Oh my gosh. That's why I'm tired. Okay, guys. I am going to sign off. Thanks for coming in and listening to me and chatting with each other and chatting with me. I hope you have a great weekend. Trust your gut. I'll see you in the comments.